Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, February the 24th. Sorry, multitasking is not my forte. February the 24th, 2022. Just a couple days after Tuesday. Twos all over the place. Got another great technical alpha lined up for you today. Talking about video games, movies, television, dick-related analogies, and more. That's a lie. It's actually pretty much those three things. It's not anything else. That's pretty much the show. Oh, I see Discord has changed. What is going on here? What, Discord? What have you done? What have you done? Can I hide this still? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. It's okay. Crisis averted. Discord changed their video layout, but we got it sorted out. It's no Techno Alpha Podcast. Hope you guys are having a good day, or as good as you can, because if you haven't noticed, the world's being the world today, or as of last night sometime. So I hope if you are from that part of the world, if you're anywhere over there right now, because I know we do have more than a handful of Lag TV fans from that part of the world in Ukraine and in the surrounding areas, and I've already seen some people on my timeline talking about how they had fled the country in the midst of all of this, and so we're about as with you guys as we possibly can be. I guess we say that much anyway. It was kind of like from a StarCraft perspective of anything. I hadn't seen the beautiful man's face in a while, but I saw White Raw posting a video earlier today. He was, I believe, in Kyiv, talking about this whole situation, as he was out in one of the looked like one of the public squares in the city. But a terrible time, to say the least, and we hope everyone stays as safe as you can in the midst of all of that crazy. Other than that, we're going to talk about some video game news, and before we get to that, I have to ask the most important question of the week. Mr. Black, how was your week? Well, you're cultivating a beard now, it seems. We look like we're committing, or we just got too lazy to actually shave it off. One or the other.
Yeah, I got my hair cut. I haven't trimmed my beard yet. I didn't. I got to travel next week, so I went and got my hair cut, but I left my mask on. And didn't want them in my face.
Of course, yeah.
So
yeah.
I'll deal with this, sometime soon. But I am gonna keep the beard. This is just
gonna bring it back.
Yeah,
take it back a couple notches.
Yeah, this ain't it. But yeah. Outside of that, it's been a week. Kayla's sick with a migraine today, so I was on dad duty pretty much all morning and afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Kai turned 3 a couple days ago.
That happened?
Dad turned 60 today. So lots of birthdays going around. Outside of that, it's just been another week for me.
Yeah, well, that's other than the migraine, not bad. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. M fighting a migraine today as well. It's migraine day for the better halves, apparently. Although hers is predictable, because it's usually whenever she switches from doing night shifts for a long period of time and then she switches to day shifts or vice versa, there's like this 3 to 4 day band where her body is like, why are you doing? No. What the fuck is wrong with you? Stick to one. Why are you changing? And then migraines are like super common. And then after a while it changes and she gets used to it. But yeah, she's fighting that today. So she's down the hall. This is the first thing in the morning. I knew it was the case because first thing in the morning I brought down breakfast and the first sound I heard was her dry heaving, which told me that she had a migraine. So yeah, that's a shitty time. I'm so thankful I've never had a migraine in my life.
Only ever had one.
I barely even get headaches. Like usually it's like a tension headache at worst, but if you get like the flu or something, you have like a headache or whatnot, but never a migraine. Thank fucking God, because watching Marcel have one, it's just like, fuck me. I would be the biggest dude. I'd be the biggest bitch. If I had a migraine, yeah. I'd be the sissiest fuck on the
Kayla
planet.
Was salty. She was power puking. Just salty, man.
It's terrible. Does she get them often?
Nah, I'd say like maybe once a year.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's pretty rare, and it's usually not this bad. But I think she's feeling a lot better right now. So
that's good. Yeah, the shittiest thing about migraines is that like normally if you puke, you feel better, but with migraines, it doesn't do anything.
No,
doesn't relieve anything. It's fucking terrible. My week was predictably more time at the house. We got a fair amount of work done this week. Got rid of the remaining studs that were separating the kitchen, dining room, living room space. Now that Smitty has done pretty much most of the electrical work upstairs, we were just leaving them there to give a little extra support in case he slipped and put a foot down on the roof somewhere and or the ceiling, and he didn't put a foot through it. Otherwise, that cleared out, and it is crazy how little it takes for your eyes to separate space. So even though it was just like 4 studs basically across the 2 walls, it looked more open obviously than when you had drywall on them, but it still looked like separated spaces and it made everything feel smaller. You got rid of 4 fucking studs and it feels like a football field in the upstairs fucking like part of the house now. It's crazy how your eyes will do that. So that was nice. We got that done. We got a bunch of other stuff done as well. Obviously, we did some of the all-electric, so we got the LED pot lights put in. They are the brightest things I've ever seen in my life. Thank God we got dimmer switches, because holy shit, the max on those bad boys, it's like you're at the pearly fucking gates. You turn that shit on, you can't see anything. Well, I mean, you can. In fact, if you ever lose anything in the living room, you turn on the lights, you will see every fucking molecule in that entire room. We only put 4 of them in. We probably could have got away with 1. we got 4 and it's on a dimmer now. So they're in there and they're looking good. We were just finishing hanging the door in that will eventually go to my office, because it was originally just an archway. It was just drywalled. There was no door there. And so we're stealing one of the doors from somewhere else in the house and putting that in. So we were doing that and a bunch of other piddly stuff this week, like bathroom fan, which was an experience after what we had to deal with to put that in. Normally that's a really easy, straightforward job, but if it's your own home, of course, Murphy's Law, nothing will be easy. You will run into every single like shitty little thing that could possibly get in your way, and that's exactly what happened with us, but thankfully we sorted that out. And just some general other stuff. We got the appliances in today that we ordered, and I thought at the time when we ordered them that we'd have a floor installed by now, but we don't. And so they're just sitting in the living room now, along with the other appliances in their boxes. Had the guy show up. I think it's a prerequisite for delivery guys that when their employer requires them to have a mask when they're doing white glove delivery, meaning like bringing this shit into your house, that a mask to them is everyone has the same one. It's like the starter kit for delivery guys. You got like, it's the fucking like infinity scarf fucking thin nylon thing that they just take from their neck and they just kind of slide over their face, and they all had the exact same fucking one. It doesn't do anything. It's about the equivalent of me taking my t-shirt and just kind of doing this shit, and they're like, oh yeah, hey boss, yeah, we're good to go. I've had one delivery service guy that's actually brought stuff into the house have like a mask, and the rest of them have that exact same fucking thing. At this point, it's whatever. I just find it fucking hilarious that they all use the same one. What was worse, unfortunately, is that one of these 2 lads didn't have the bodily strength to push the refrigerator up the stairs while the other guy was pulling from the other side. And so they actually asked me to help bring this fridge up the stairs. And I was like, okay, that's a little fucking unorthodox.
I would have said, nah, I'm good. Actually,
the problem is I was watching them trying to get this up the stairs. Bro, I would have been there all day and they would have had 48 holes in my fucking wall by the time. One of these guys had some strength. The other guy probably should have a different occupation, is how this whole thing went down. So those 2 went at the bottom to push, and they're like, yeah, just go to the top and pull up. And they're like, be careful of the straps, they'll cut your hand. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not stupid. I'll go put on some gloves, whatever. So put on some gloves to start pulling up. I'm counting, 1, 2, 3, because you're doing like 1 step at a time, right? They get 2 guys behind it. They get a little overzealous. On 3 on the last step, I pull up and they got a little overzealous, and they pushed like they were trying to fucking send this thing into the sun. I didn't get my foot out of the way in time, and they crushed my ankle between the top of the fucking corner of the refrigerator and the top of the staircase. So now I've got like this V cut and bruising on both sides of my fuck. I was like, whoa, 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 and he was like, and dude, his face, it was like he saw his job flashing before his eyes, because he was like, we shouldn't be asking the homeowner to help us move this shit.
No,
and if we just broke his ankle, we might be fucking dead. So anyway, it was fine. A little bruised, but okay. I haul the thing up the stairs. We get it all up. I check everything. Everything's fine. And that was my day. It was very exciting. Nothing all that exciting, but that's where your day peaks, is when you have to haul up your own refrigerator up the stairs.
I'll have my new fridge and freezer on Monday.
Wow,
that's call. We lucked out,
dude.
Well, what I did. So
how?
Well, we had two we had two options, right? We had because the fridge and freezer are, I think they're 32 inches each, so it's like it's like a big chef's thing. We had two options. There was a cheaper model that was still $4,000 a piece.
Well, they're a massive fridge that you're putting in that space.
And he said, there's a 78 person waiting list across Canada. There's like 20 something people here in Nova Scotia.
That seems like a disproportionate number of people, considering that across the country is 70, like one third.
It's like 70 something, and then like a third of them were in Nova Scotia that were waiting on it. So he was like, he's like, I'm not trying to upsell you, but if you want to get these fridges within the next 12 to 18 months, I would suggest going with the higher tier appliances, because
that less people are
headhunting them.
Yeah.
So he was like, there's only 13 people on this waiting list across Canada.
And were 9 of them in Nova Scotia?
No, there was like 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
3 or 4, right?
All right, a little better.
It wasn't, yeah. So I said it was like an extra $600 per fridge. It was like nothing. I mean, that's still a lot of money. Like, that's almost a fridge for, like a regular.
Yeah, but I'm gonna spend $1,200 before waiting 18 months to have a refrigerator.
Exactly, because right now we have 2 portable freezers, basically hooked up, and they're sucking power like crazy. So I was like, you know what? If I have to do this for the next 12 to 18 months, I'm gonna spend more in power, spending $20-$30 per unit a month to power these things, then it will be to. So I said, fuck it, I'll order it. I was still expecting it to take like 6 months. Got the call like a week and a half, 2 weeks later. It's been with 2 weeks, and they're like, yeah, we can come. They're coming in Nova Scotia. We get them. They'll be delivered on Monday. So I'm like,
the dream.
Okay, let's go.
The dream. Let's fucking go. You love those. You take those dubs all day.
I'll take it, man.
You take those dubs all day. Yeah, we've got all of our appliances now, with the exception of the refrigerator that we're going to get for downstairs, but we're not getting like any of the real like popular ones for downstairs. That would just kind of be like a whatever, not a cheap fridge, but we're not spending $1 million.
You can go like Home Depot and get like Frigidaire stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Even stainless steel Frigidaire fridges. Like I bought,
like $1,100 or $1,200.
It was less. Yeah. It
was,
oh, really? It was like $800.
Yeah.
For like stainless steel Frigidaire full size.
Yeah, the 30-inch.
And they usually have them in stock. Like you.
Yeah, it doesn't take. Yeah, like they're either there or it's like a week.
Yeah.
And you're good. Yeah. So like other than that, we're pretty much done our appliance shopping, which is a relief, to say the least. So. Yeah, we got our HVAC also finally. We got that guy get us to us for cost. We saved like $700 on that.
The dream.
That was the dream. Now we just have to go through the pain and suffering of actually installing it at some point. That's going to be an experience, but it shouldn't be too bad. Shall we talk about some video game stuff? Capcom's countdown timer. I think I talked about this last week, because I want to say the timer started on Thursday, but I might also be conflating it with something else. Either way, Capcom had this website up, or some other countdown timer somewhere. I might be conflating it with another thing, actually, now that I think about it, but all the same, I think I'm conflating it with Atlas's countdown timer. Capcom had one too, and they announced Street Fighter 6. So big shocker, Street Fighter 6 is the thing that's happening. Included this year are, of course, Ryu. However, this time around, I don't know if you've seen pictures, Ryu called up Chris Redfield. No, he called up Chris Redfield. He said, Ryu said, Chris, I saw you punch a boulder. All right? I saw you got the juice. I saw you punch a boulder out of an active volcano. I need that kind of energy for Street Fighter 6. He said, don't worry, I got you. And he hooked up Ryu with as much HGH as you could possibly fucking inject into a human being. And now Ryu is about as wide as an 18-wheel truck. He's fucking huge. And I'm not talking head on, I mean sideways. I mean, he's like a 48-foot wide fucking human being. Looks a little weird, but they got him in there. The other thing that was a little odd, at least not that it changes the game, but it was a little strange. The logo design is hot garbage. I don't know if you've seen the logo. It's a fucking hot mess. After all the amazing logos and kind of, you could call them iconic logos, really, for Street Fighter over the years. You don't even have to necessarily read the word Street Fighter from a distance to know that you were looking at a Street Fighter logo for years. And now they just went with the most generic-ass, flat logo shit with like a spray paint like mark in the bottom right corner with a 6 in it. And that was the entire logo for Street Fighter 6. What made it funnier, and I thought about it when I first saw it, I went, you know what? That looks like some shit that you'd buy off a stock image website. And as it turns out, somebody did a little looking around, and that's exactly what it is. These motherfuckers straight took some shit off of a stock image website and slapped a 6 in the corner and called it a day. It's a fucking hot mess. However, great news for Capcom. The owner, the artist that did that original stock image said, hey, you know what? I'm willing to sell you full rights to that logo if you want to have it. It doesn't mean anything for the game, but it still made me laugh when I saw it because it was just some of the weirdest shit. Like, why would you fuck up? You know, you have one of the best logos in video games. Why would you go and do that? It's fucking hideous. Also, Capcom announced that on the 24th of June this year, they're going to be releasing the Capcom Fighting Collection, which brings rollback netcode, that's the netcode that everyone wants to have in the fighting game community, to 10 of their classic fighting titles, including all 5 Darkstalkers, as well as Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, of course, along with several others, 10 in total. So for those who are big Capcom fighting game fans, and maybe you've been hoping to get back into some of the older stuff, you know, anytime they include rollback, within reason, that means that you might be able to have a little fun competitively without everything falling apart online. So that's probably going to get the fighting game community a little hype. Maybe not as hype as 48-foot wide Ryu, but a little bit, all the same. Steam is updating their rules for game discounts to help stop developers abusing the system. Amongst a number of changes, developers now will only be able to put games on sale between 10 and 90% off instead of as low as 1%, which is how it was before, apparently. I've never seen a game off for 1%, but all the same, apparently that was a thing. And that was being abused by some of the developers because as soon as you discount a game for any amount on Steam, it automatically puts you in the short list of on-sale items, and it's kind of like free advertising at that point. There's not really a deal on, it's literally 1% off, but you're reaping the benefits of getting your game lifted up to the front pages or towards the tops of the sales thing. Steam obviously looked at that and said, that's not good. Probably shouldn't be able to do that. And so now they're limiting it and saying, hey, if you want to do it, it's 10% as an entry level. They're also making a slew of other changes to this, but the other more interesting note here for people who are actually buying the video games would be that they are changing it from the cycle in which they would allow a developer to put their game on sale. Originally it was 6 weeks. They're reducing it to 28 days. So instead of having to wait all that time in between sales, if they really wanted to, with some exceptions, and that list actually will, that they put up explains the exceptions, but they're not a lot of them. You can put your game up for sale basically once a fucking month at this point, instead of waiting 6 weeks, a little more than that. So a little shorter, but also, fuck you if you were trying to abuse the system. Now you're down to 10%. If you want that sweet, sweet advertising space on Steam Marketplace. You know, if you think about it, that's actually quite a bit. You know, if you just take off 1% of your game, you know, Steam has so many video games on it that any edge that you can get your game up in front of people on a sale list, it's actually kind of galaxy brain. If you think about it, you know, 1% off, and then you automatically have people looking more at your title. So, yeah, I'm sure there's more than a few that are going to be salty about the fact that now they have to 10x that bitch to get the advertising space. It was inevitable, but Bethesda announced this week, Mr. Black, that they are retiring the Bethesda launcher. One less launcher to have on your desktop. They're going to move everything to Steam, of course. Whether or not this is, you know, because of the buyout at Microsoft and they just don't want to have to keep up the storefront or any other reasons. I mean, let's be honest, they didn't need one. Most of these extraneous, storefront, or not storefronts, but launchers, it's just a pain in everyone's ass. You know, like friggin' 19 launchers on your friggin' desktop, depending on how many games you played. Unless you were just somebody that exclusively played Bethesda games, plus maybe one or two others from Steam, having to have the shit boot up all the time. You have, like, buy something on Steam, but you have to have a Bethesda launcher account. And so it, like, launches the launcher and launches another launcher, and then you have to log in, like, twice, and it was just a fucking nightmare. It's going bye-bye. No more of that. All the Steam and, you know, obviously also the Xbox or Microsoft store as well. Following the announcement of, I don't know if this is Live Alive or Live Alive or Live or however that's pronounced, because unfortunately English does not give me enough context to actually be able to tell you, but those that know. That getting an HD 2D remake, which we talked about, I want to say last week, Square Enix also confirmed that they were going to be doing more of this exact style of remake in the future, which is that kind of Octopath Traveler HD 2D thing that lots of people seem to like the aesthetic of. I think it looks fucking dope. I think it's a perfect kind of happy mixture of give me the old retro graphics, but make it look a little bit more modern and not just kind of phoning it in. They are going to be doing more of those games in the future, and apparently when they were choosing which game to do next before they chose eventually, let's say Live Alive, the second choice was going to be ActRaiser, which is not a game that I would have expected them to pull out of a hat for a treatment like that, but I'm sure it would probably be pretty fire, and if it was in second place, I have a sneaking suspicion that it's probably still going to get done at some point. Do you have ActRaiser? I think ActRaiser is a hard cartridge to get your hands on. Do you know if you have it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think it's one of the ones that are kind of difficult to get your hands on. Kind of one of those more obscure titles that not everyone knows about. And I think we talked about it too when when ActRaiser got put on one of the compilation lists for one of the retro systems that they did a release for. But all the same, yeah. So expect an ActRaiser HD 2D remake is what I'm getting out of that. At the end of the day, and more. I guess some people are also thinking, please God, give us Final Fantasy VI, things like that, of course, that Square Enix would have their hands on in that time frame, you know, that SNES era stuff, to get an HD 2D remake, and hopefully we'll learn more about that pretty soon. In a move I never would have thought about, but sounds awesome on paper, 2K Sports has secured the LEGO license to do sports games, Mr. Black. LEGO Sports! How does that tickle your fancy?
It doesn't.
What if it's you and Kai playing Lego sports?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
You just go for straight regular sports.
Probably not playing any sports games, to be honest.
Okay. We're skipping the sports games altogether.
Yeah, I'd rather play Lego like Batman or something, you know.
Or that upcoming Lego Star Wars, like the whole the Skywalker saga. Yes. Like the masterpiece of the Lego Star Wars universe, yes. Yeah, I don't know. There hasn't really been that many bad Lego video games ever. I mean, they've done, almost all of them have been pretty fire. So, I would definitely be interested in what a Lego sports title would even look like, to say the least. And I guess we don't have to wait too much longer before we'll find out what that. Like, I'm interested in which sport they choose first. Is it soccer by default? Do you think, or do you think they're going to go with something else? I have to assume soccer. It's like the biggest fucking sport. It's not going to be NFL football.
No. Yeah, it might be soccer. It makes
Yeah.
sense.
I would say that makes a reasonable sense. Oh man, here we go. For the first time since some of you listening, this is aging us now, Mr. Black, but for the first time since some of the people at home have been listening, or since some of you have been born, I guess. It appears Call of Duty will not be getting a yearly release in 2023. They're moving the previously earmarked Treyarch title from 2023 into 2024. And this is the first time this has happened in, I think it's 18 years. We've had a yearly Call of Duty release for 18 straight years, and in 2023, you're not getting one. You're saving your $60. It's going into something else. And most likely that will be Warzone or the Modern Warfare sequel that's coming out as well. So those two titles, the rebuild of Warzone and then the sequel to Modern Warfare 2019, which is the next release for Call of Duty, those will be carrying us all the way into 2024. And I found that interesting that this cropped up this week. After last week, we had such a long chat about how I think it was last week that we talked about, you were bringing up the point about the honeymoon phase recycle that they've been able to abuse, where the cycle of Call of Duty is so frequent that just by the time people are getting tired of it, or they're finding all the shit wrong with it, and they get fed up that, guess what, guys? 6 months from now, new Call of Duty coming. Let's talk about that, and everyone gets excited about that, and then the wheels keep on spinning. For the first time in 18 years, it's not going to be the case. We're going to get these two others, and then we're going to have a gap. And so that will be fun to some degree to see how the market responds to that. And I suppose subsequently how well the one in 2024 sells, since there's not going to be this constant hype train. How do you think that's going to play out? Do you think it's going to make any difference at all, or do you, given what we talked about last time, or do you think that this might see the franchise not be as popular as it has been?
Oh, it's still going to be super popular, and it's still going to sell crazy amounts. I don't know. Maybe there'll be more of a demand for it at that point. I mean,
maybe it sells even more.
It might. It might. Or, maybe the next version that they have coming out is really good, and they want to hold on to it for a little while. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's I asked this question. I never get a response on Twitter, but I asked this question. Jeff Grubb had posted about this, and I said, just asking nebulously or in general for anyone to answer, do you think how just the sustainability of the franchise, where it's basically so much of it has been this constant, like, keeping this level of hype going, like you're constantly injecting adrenaline into your veins every 6 fucking months. And what does that mean? Is this going to be better for the for the franchise? It'll be better insofar as that I guess it will give the developers more time to actually make the fucking video game. So there's that.
Maybe The Rock is doing Call of Duty.
And maybe in 2023 is like
maybe they're gonna film this and they want to release the game right around the time the movie comes out.
Oh shit! Christmas release, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, 2023 Call of Duty.
You never know, man. This could be it. I mean, he is circling a big gaming franchise.
It's true.
This could be the reason.
It's true. Be the reason. You know what? I'm gonna say it right now. It's a technical alpha. It's a technical alpha call. It's a Miss Cleo call right now. Christmas 2023. Call of Duty Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie. That will be the lead up to the 2024 game being done by Treyarch. Yeah, that's the pre-game show.
And he will market the fuck out of the game. He will be in the game. He will play in the movie. We'll see. This could be the reason why. I mean, if you're gonna delay anything, you're gonna delay it for The Rock, right?
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson flying in a like an AC-130 going from destination to destination. B-roll footage on the outside of the plane, cuts to inside of the plane. Dwayne sitting on the side of the plane waiting to arrive, drinking a Zoa.
Yep.
Close in shot on the side. How do you? That's going to be a difficult thing for The Rock to do. You know, when you do the product placement where you have to awkwardly hold the can in such a way that like the logo shows. You know, Dwayne's hand's fucking enormous, right? So I got to imagine there's got to be some sort of like fucking camera trickery.
He's like grabbing it from the top, and he like.
Oh, does he do that one?
Yeah, he does that a lot. You know, he's always one-handing because he got his phone, and so he's perfected the open. You know, turn it around.
One hand open and crack.
And then when he's not drinking out of the can, he usually he has got like a thing of ice in a cup, and he pours it, and then he puts the can beside the glass, and then he drinks it. So you know.
You know you're living fancy when you're drinking your fucking energy drink out of a glass with ice. Of course. That's some very fancy shit right there. Pinky out on that one. Where was I in this mess? Xbox announced this week that the live streaming service to Twitch has been returned to the dashboard and has been re-engineered to suck less. So if you're somebody out there that's listening that used the Xbox live streaming to Twitch feature in the past and had been missing it, well, it's back and apparently not as shitty as it was before. So for the like 15 to 20 of you doing that, get back out there. Make it happen. With the lifting of the review embargo, Mr. Black Elden Ring, finally a thing. People are downloading it today. The game is out.
It's out in 2 hours.
It's out in 2 hours.
Yeah.
People are preloading it then right now.
Yeah, like it's out in an hour and 20. There's, you know, some streamers that got like early access, you know,
yes,
milking this shit, but yeah.
Of course. But yes, with the review embargo lifted yesterday, it is tracking to be one of the most highly rated, from a critic perspective, games of all time. For a window of time yesterday on OpenCritic, it was the highest rated game of all time after 90 reviews had filed in. Now that 115 reviews are on file, it is averaging 96 on Metacritic. And just for the PS5 version specifically on Metacritic, because Metacritic splits it out into different platforms, after 50 reviews on the PS5 version of Metacritic, it's a 97. That's fucking huge. Like normally, if it's like a relatively early review, people had it for about a week and change, I think. And so people have been saying, hey, you know, I've had this game, I haven't been able to beat it in its entirety. And most reviewers are saying, you know, 30, 40 hours is about where they landed because they're human beings and need to sleep. So they got that far. I saw one YouTuber that clearly was drinking Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's Zoa energy drink 24 hours a day and cranked out 81 hours before the review. Whoever that is, they're probably under the age of 25 and haven't slept, eaten, and maybe even taken a shit since they got their early review copy. But all the same, most people seem to be clocking between 30 and 40. A couple of outliers in the 40 to 50. That's a lot of time to be playing a game like this. It's an open world title. I'm sure most of these reviews are accurate enough. It's not my favorite thing when I see people review a game without actually finishing it. I don't mean 100% completion, but you know what I mean, getting through to the end of the game. But all the same, that's huge review numbers. Puts it up there with stuff like Breath of the Wild, GTA 4, Super Mario Galaxy, which were some of the highest rated ones that are in the list right now of all time. Of course, there are some ones that you go backwards in time before there was a lot of publishers giving reviews or publications giving reviews. There could be some others as well. But yeah, like a Halo or Ocarina of Time, things of that nature. There's, you know, very highly rated games. But yeah, there you go. So unless after the 40-hour mark, this game just fucking falls off a cliff, Elden Ring is probably game of the year. Locked up, and it's only February. Now, February was a heavy hitter. I mean, we had a lot of big games, and I have to say, I feel sorry for Guerrilla Games over there with Horizon Forbidden West because they're getting fucked again. They chose the wrong release window the second time. They got dicked by Breath of the Wild, and now they're getting dicked by Elden Ring. They need to figure out a better release window. But you know, in fairness to them, who would have thought that they were going to get fucked on in February? It's not exactly the primo fucking release window for a video game. So, I feel bad for him. It's still going to sell well, and ironically, Forbidden West will probably sell more copies than Elden Ring. But all the same, it's still, that takes the thunder right out. For the longest time on social media, it was all about Horizon. And then it's like, hey, Elden Ring is here. The fuck is Horizon? And now everyone's just talking about Elden Ring. Is this, I think you mentioned in the past, you said you might actually consider streaming Elden Ring. Are you still thinking about doing that, especially now that it's doing well?
I'll be playing it tomorrow. I already bought it.
Oh, shit! So are you can you preload it right now? Like, are you preloading it at the moment?
I didn't preload it. It comes out in another hour?
Few hours?
Hour,
couple
15
hours?
minutes. Yeah,
oh, okay, 6 o'clock our time.
I'll probably load it tonight and then I'll play it tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking great. I'm sad that I won't be able to play it for a good chunk of time. Obviously I've got too much on my hands to be able to play it, but it will definitely be one of the games that when I do sit down and I'm ready to game again, I'm putting in my dedicated hours. I mean, that's an easy choice, right? I've got so much game. It's just between that and Forbidden West, I could lock my ass in a chair for like 3 fucking months just between those two games. And they both occupy that same genre where it's very easy to just sit down and play it for a long period of time. So, a little bit excited for that. Do I think it's really a 96? I think it's a 96 for people who are already really big fans of Dark Souls, which is why I'll be interested to see how many YouTube reviewers and stuff that aren't already invested in the Dark Souls universe, picking it up, the people that don't have previous muscle memory of playing Dark Souls games from the past and experiencing that game from scratch. As the series has existed longer and longer, obviously more and more reviewers that have been doing Dark Souls are doing Elden Ring, have this previous experience, they're fans of the franchise, and that's going to skew your shit. It's a bit of a niche situation because those games are so hard on average. Like if you sit down the average gamer and have them say, hey, go ahead and try and beat Dark Souls. So people are throwing that controller across the room 35 minutes in, if they make it that far. I want to see more reviews or more opinions, especially since it's an open world game now, from people that haven't already invested so much time in the Dark Souls franchise in the past. How many of those games have you played previously? I can't remember how many of them you did. You did all of them? You did Bloodborne and all that shit?
Beat them all.
Oh, there you go. So you're going in ready for battle. You're ready to go.
I'm ready. Well, I didn't. Fuck. Okay, there we go.
Yep, we're good.
I didn't beat Demon Souls, so like I've never played Demon Souls.
Yeah, no, neither did I.
Everything else I've played.
Yeah. I'm definitely. On one hand, I'm excited. On the other hand, I love Dark Souls, but I'd be lying if I said those games don't stress me out because the fucking stress is real in those games. And so I want to play it, but I also don't want to be fucking stressed out of my tree the whole time. But I will definitely be giving that a look-see. But there you go. So far, one of the highest rated games of all time. Nintendo made a rare acquisition, Mr. Black, this week as it picks up its longtime partner. Basically 40 years, apparently, these two have been almost exclusively working together. And this is a video game developer, of course. SRD Co. Something that nobody probably ever fucking heard of before, but they've been working with Nintendo or alongside Nintendo for 4 decades. And Nintendo said, you know what? Why don't we just buy you? Let's get this over with. We've been working together for so long. It's time to put a ring on it. And so they are. And now nothing will change because they were already exclusively basically working for Nintendo, except now they're really exclusively working for Nintendo. EA's CEO Andrew Wilson believes that the FIFA brand is impeding more than helping at this point, and that this is an altered quote, but just insofar as that it's not the exact quote, but he said it's just 4 letters on a box, signaling that they may drop the name in the future. I have in my notes, I'm going to say that seems like a bold move. What do you think about FIFA as a franchise for EA suddenly being called something else? Do you think that in the grand scheme of things, from a branding perspective, that's a good idea, or do you think that that's creating more work for themselves to have to rebuild the brand. Obviously, the game will maintain its quality, and the FIFA games have been very good for a long time now. But from a brand perspective, when people have been seeing FIFA for fucking how long now, do you think that's a smart move? What do you think?
I mean, they know better than I do. I mean, from a consumer standpoint,
yeah, from a consumer standpoint,
it's probably tougher, but I mean, people get used to it. If the game is good, like they're gonna buy it. I just don't give a shit. I don't play FIFA games. I don't care if they call it football.
Yeah, okay, so all right, because you don't care, I want Mr. Maximus Black's top 3 replacement names for FIFA. If EA is going to name it something else, I want replacement names from Mr. Black. What do you got?
We'll call it soccer.
Just soccer. Just
soccer.
EA's soccer.
Soccer 2023. All right.
Okay. Is that just for North American release, and then in Europe it's football 2023?
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
all right.
football
Okay.
2023.
All right.
Well, the other one will be called like sheesh. Loot Box Mania. That'll be a good one. And the last one is totally not FIFA.
Hey, there you go. I like that.
You like that?
Definitely or totally not FIFA. EA's totally not FIFA 2023.
I'd fucks with that.
I mean, I really don't know. I'm kind of partial to just the EA Soccer 2023.
Why not? I mean, make it simple. Keep it simple. Like, what else are you gonna fucking
what
call
if it's just
it? You know
what if it's just a white box with the word soccer written across it, and that's like the whole show? Soccer 2023.
It's either that, or you're gonna have like the most world's famous soccer player and like name it after them, like they did Tiger Woods. You know, I'd have to call it like.
You know, like Ronaldo or Messi.
Like Messi 2023. You know, then the shit's gonna sell like crazy, right? I mean, look at Tiger Woods. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to pay him shit tons of money, but
it's true.
They're probably paying even more for FIFA.
EA Sports Messi Soccer 2023.
Why not? Just call it Messi 2023 and have a picture of his ass on the front, kicking a ball, and call it a day.
Sounds good. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. Done.
Pay the man.
That's all we got for video game news, Mr. Black, so it's time to sell out.
Hey, patreon.com/legtv. Head on over there right now and throw money at the screen. If you can't afford to do so, that's okay. I'm not judging you. Maybe a little bit, but I'm not judging you that much. If you wanna help out, you can just leave a comment. You can hit the like button. You can share the podcast. You can support a sponsor like NordVPN. You know, you can head on over to nordvpn.com/OTT. Use the promo code OTT. Get a 73% off right now, something like that. Let me go.
Several percents.
nordvpn.com/OTT. Enter. Let's see what we got here. We've got a 2-year subscription. Let me see here. Get Nord. Grab the deal. You get a bonus month for free. A massive discount. The heck is going on? Which will only be $3.35 a month. That's it on a 2-year deal. All right, you can head on over there. So huge discount when you use the promo code OTT. Guys, you stay safe. You stay anonymous when you're on the internet. You can watch different regions of Netflix or any other streaming service where you have access to different content. So it's a cheap way to have access to a lot of other stuff. You can watch region block content on the internet as well. You mask your IP. You can hook it up to your router, your smartphone, your TV, your laptop, your Mac, your virtually anything. They're fast. If you don't know what a VPN, it's a virtual private network. So you can stream on them, game on them, stream and game at the same time, all that stuff. You guys know the deal by now. So head on over there and pick it up. And with the 30-day money-back guarantee, for whatever reason, you don't like it, it's not doing whatever you thought, Get your money back. No questions asked. You got 30 days. It's a win-win. You support the stream, you support the sponsor, you support yourself.
It's a W.
VPN. It's a
EA Sports NordVPN Soccer 2023.
There it is. There it is. That's it.
Okay. Which means it's time for
movies and TV.
It's not my favorite choice, Mr. Black, but it's been confirmed that Master Chief will indeed be unmasked in the Halo TV series. It was announced this week. Came out, they saw everyone talking about it online and said, yeah, we're gonna fuck your dreams up. We're unmasking the bitch. Do something. So there you go. Does it really matter all that much? Not really. It's more about the fact that this show has to, this is similar to the Lord of the Rings thing, where they're both going sort of away from canon. They're both trying to amass a fan base outside of just more hardcore people. And I guess in their minds, in order to do that, it makes sense to give a face to the voice for Master Chief. And so that is what we're going to do. I saw a great meme this week where it was Master Chief taking his helmet off, and it was Phil Spencer. I think they should just do that. They should just have Phil Spencer dub the voice over while Phil Spencer talks, and just have Phil Spencer be Master Chief. I think it works well. I think it works well. What do you think he's going to look like under there? Is he stereotypical white dude, chiseled jaw, blue eyes? No?
I don't think so. Well, I can go find out. Halo TV show. IMDb. Let's see. See what the actor is that plays him.
Apparently Don Johnson, according to Mark.
Don Johnson? No, it's a guy named...
he looks like Don Johnson.
It's a guy named Pablo... Here's a Bergerber. I don't even know.
Is that the official name?
No, that's the actor's name. Pablo
Scherber's Soccer 2023.
Yeah, he's definitely not your standard, he doesn't have blue eyes, he doesn't have...
Wow, I'm impressed.
Just a Caucasian Canadian.
Oh, it's a Canuck.
It's Canuck.
Confirmed.
From British Columbia.
Master Chief is Canadian. Confirmed.
It's Canadian.
You're welcome, world.
Yeah, so anyway. Unless, there it is.
Unless, because they don't have like a voice actor for one and then another.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense because it would be weird.
That'd be tough.
That'd be stupid.
Yeah. Chief canonically has brown eyes. Yes, but you're forgetting that everyone is racist. So I was just assuming blue eyes. I thought we were going for the classic German super soldier. But apparently not. And there you have it. Just a Canadian guy. I wonder if he's gonna sneak in a Canadian accent. If we're gonna hear his oot and boots. Although if he's from British Columbia, maybe not too much.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of war movies, so he's got that standard soldier look.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Is he chiseled? Is he a little chiseled or just haggard looking?
Hey, he's not chiseled.
No.
He's not small, but
I didn't mean is he jacked? I didn't mean his face. No.
It's just he's one of the bros.
Amazing. All right, well, other than that, I have Idris Elba announced that he will be stepping back from acting, Mr. Black, to focus more on and pursue more heavily his electronic music. So if people didn't know this already, Idris Elba's actually relatively deep in the music scene in general across the pond, and has dabbled in over the years. And now I guess he's decided, after he's made so much damn money, that he wants to just focus on doing that. It's like a passion project. I doubt that means he's suddenly going to stop acting altogether, but he's definitely taken some time to pursue this, which makes me believe that we will not see him in a well-tailored suit drinking the shaken, not stirred. He's not going to be Bond, I don't think, at this point. But all the same, there you go. I've listened to like some of his music before. I remember when I first found out that he was doing it. It was like one of those things where we were like, that sounds fucking crazy. And it turns out he's not bad. It's pretty good. So if he wants to go do that, all the power to him. Not like he has to fucking do anything else for the rest of his life. Man is made.
Yeah. Do what makes you happy.
He's good to go. That's all I had. There's no news this week, really.
Oh.
The world's been too busy being at war for anything to happen. So yeah, no, nothing particularly crazy this week. You guys watching anything over there?
Well, we watched all the episodes of Love Is Blind. We got that one last episode that comes out tomorrow, I think.
Love Is Blind or the other or something else? Because I thought you guys weren't watching Love Is Blind.
No, we watched it.
Which one? The American one?
Yeah, season 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've been watching that. That's a train wreck. And,
it's a train wreck.
Yeah, we're actually finishing Loki because believe it or not, we still haven't seen all of it.
I stopped watching it. It's not that bad.
Like yeah, that was like me. I just like my fucksometer for Marvel, just in general.
It's down. It's low.
It's gone down pretty significantly. Although Shang-Chi was pretty awesome, and Spider-Man was pretty awesome too, and Doctor Strange is looking pretty awesome. Maybe it's the TV shows that's just not doing it for me. I don't know. But Loki's good. Like the last we watched 2 episodes last night. I think we're on episode 6 now. It's really starting to pick up, and it's like it's a little more interesting. But at the same time, like I just don't care.
They're bringing it back for a second season, as far as I know.
Okay,
that's in the midst of happening.
Sure. So anyway, we continued with that. Caleb brought it up. I was like, all right, fine, I'll watch it, and then it is what it is. So we'll try and probably finish that tonight. And outside of that, I haven't really been watching a whole lot. I'm probably gonna check out the new Scream movie this week, and that's the show. We haven't watched anything.
We watched. We had to stop. Em has this thing that the moment she doesn't like somebody in whatever she's watching, like it could just be one actor or one person if it's a reality TV show, it's just off. Like they can only occupy the screen for about fucking 10% of the entire episode. It doesn't matter. She just it's over. So we in Love Is Blind, the North American version, we got to the point where the dude who, I don't remember names, the dude who looks like he's constantly on a cocaine binge.
Oh, the Shane guy or whatever his name is?
Yeah, Shane. He's like...
Yeah.
And he's got like this...
And he's dating I think she's Korean.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
He just looks like he's constantly on cocaine. It was around the episode where he was talking with the other girl or whatever on the beach side there, and it was like some subversive shit going on, and Nam was like, I just can't stand there. She's being such a bitch, and just turned the episode off, and that was like that was it. That was the show. I haven't turned it back on since. Last night I tried to sneak it in. She was like, No, we're not watching it. I was like, all right, fine, fuck, we got all right, fine. So maybe eventually she'll cool down.
Hey.
On that shit, and I'll go back to watching it. But it's same thing happened in fucking Love Is Blind Japan. Got to a point where there was one character who was being like a fucking like little little bitch, and she was like, "Oh my god, turn it off!" It was fucking turn, and then we haven't watched that either. So somehow we've gotten through like 90 Day Fiance and all this other shit where people are clearly insane. But for whatever reason, in these 2 seasons of this fucking show, she can't bring him watching anymore.
Maybe it's just like too. There's too much realism, where she's just like, this ain't it. With 90 Day Fiance, it's kind of the whole thing's a bit of a parody, right?
It's turned to like 11.
It's like it's so over the top and ridiculous that like you're watching it for the straight up entertainment and just the craziness of it. This Love Is Blind shit is like these people are desperate, man. Like you can tell, like, it's reality TV, but like at the same time, like
they're looking for it.
They're looking for it, and it's a fucking train wreck, and it's hard to watch.
It is hard to. It's kind of like sometimes though, like some of them. Obviously, they're all like, if you get to a point where you're even willing to do something like that, clearly, you're willing to try damn near anything. And if you're at that point, odds are there's a reason why you're probably at that point. and so nobody is safe. But at the same time, some people are clearly far more innocent than others, and some of them just get fucking wrecked, bro. And I feel so bad for them because they're actually trying to make it work, and then you got people over there treating it like they just went to the bar and picked somebody up for like, you know, a couple of nights or some shit, and it's just it is a train wreck.
Bad.
Fucking train wreck. But yeah, all the same. Other than that, man, we watched a couple of like really terrible movies that, you know, we just turn something on and it could be like some B tier or like D tier movie. Nothing that really stood out this week anyway. Bit of a drought in terms of that. There hasn't been a lot of new releases or anything like that to pick up on and check out. So, we did watch Kingsman or whatever, because that got onto Disney Plus,
like the original Kingsman.
I think it's 2021. So is that supposed to be a prequel?
Oh, that was I think that's the prequel.
That's like the lead up to
Kingsman.
it.
Yeah.
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 It was pretty good.
I hear it was okay.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. You know, it's they all have the Kingsman. If I have to give it to that series, because it's not like the premise is particularly unique, but the way that it's shot, has you can tell you're watching a Kingsman movie. It's very specific. I don't know who the director is and if it's the same one for all of them, but either way, they have a very specific feel. You know when you're watching a Kingsman movie, it was well done. The one thing I can say, and it's not that I didn't enjoy it, but about an hour and a half in, we paused it because Em had to go upstairs for something. I looked at it and I said, "That's the longest hour and a half of my fucking life." Like, not because it was, I wasn't like not enjoying myself, but I was like, man, it feels like I've been watching this movie.
Yeah,
for fucking hours.
Last night I almost watched Don't Look Up, but it was like
Oh.
I was about to press play, and it's like 2 hours and 25 minutes, and it was like 8:30, and I was like, I don't know. And Kayla's like, why don't we just watch Loki? I said, okay, fine. So we throw on Loki, but I'll probably watch Don't Look Up by the time Thursday comes around. Actually, I won't be here. Shit, that's right. I'm going to Vegas.
You're going to Vegas.
Yeah, there won't be. Well, if you're doing a podcast, it'll just be.
I'll see how I feel.
Yeah, but I won't.
I might YOLO solo one. But otherwise, Otherwise, next week we'll have to see how that plays out.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
That's it. There's no news this week, ladies and gents, which means it is time to. Oh, hold on. It's time to move on to
tech support.
Patreon.com/LikeTV if you want to help financially support this podcast, keep this shit going, and help me actually finish the work on my house before I go completely broke. Each and every week, $10 or more gets you a couple of perks. Chiefly, at this time, that's tech support, where you get to ask questions on a post I put up before the podcast each and every week, except for last week because I forgot. And we answer as many of those in the time that we have here live and for you.
I feel like we just had a podcast. Where did this last week go?
Bro, I closed my eyes, woke up, and it was Thursday.
What the fuck? I feel like we just had a podcast like 2 nights ago.
Some weeks are really bad for that, and like I wake up, or it'll be Wednesday, and in my head, it's Tuesday. And I'm like, where the fuck did a day go? We have a podcast tomorrow.
Yeah.
And just like my brain melts. Yeah. Okay. Super Kami Guru asks, excuse me. Everyone loves arcade games. What game did you dump the most coins into growing up?
Arcade game. Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh, yeah, you did. You did go hard on the Dance Dance.
For sure. If I had to choose like a non-Dance Dance, like an actual like cabinet, I would say I would go with X-Men.
The beat 'em up.
Like a beat 'em up, like the side scrolling type thing.
You've got that on your cabinet down the hall.
I do, yeah. And the reason why is because when I was younger, there was a convenience store that was like maybe a 10-minute walk, and they had that cabinet in there, and it was back then it was only 25 cents, but like we would go down there and play the 3 or 4 friends, and we'd just dump quarters into that thing over and over and over again. So I would probably pick that. But Dance Dance Revolution took all the monies, and that wasn't like a cheap thing to play either. So like you'd like the
Dance Dance was like
Revolution,
$2 or a
yeah, it was
dollar
like
or something.
started at the dollar, and then like over the years went up to $2. And then after that, it didn't even take coins, and you had to like swipe cards and shit, and it was even more than $2.
Yeah,
You know, like it's crazy.
the people using that for weight loss. It was like going to the gym as a membership after a while. It was so expensive.
Listen, if I could buy one of those cabinets, like one of the real deal cabinets, and I could get one for like $3,000, I would probably buy a $5,000 cabinet if it was totally customizable and like I could put on whatever songs I want and like you know I would dump that kind of money, but it would have to be like the real deal, you know? Like
Yeah,
I
for
wouldn't
sure.
want no knockoff shitty ass.
I think you can get that done.
You can get them built. They ain't
Not
cheap.
for that much money.
They ain't cheap, and the shipping and everything on them, bro, it ain't.
Well,
That
think
ain't
about
it.
what they're fucking shipping, bro. Even if
Yeah.
you dismantle that bitch.
Yeah, like you'd almost have to get lucky and buy one from a local arcade that's like going under.
Yeah,
and,
when it's shutting down.
and then like modify it or whatever. if you
Yeah,
want.
for sure. I would say for me, man, Golden Axe, I think, was the one I dumped the most into. And it's funny because, you know, I didn't spend a lot of time in arcades. Or if I did, I was just watching like everyone else spend their money on the arcades because I was never like super into it. Every now and then I'd hop in and maybe play like some Cruisin', USA or some shit. But I was never like super big into the arcade stuff. But in one summer, it had to have been like fucking $200 in quarters on Golden Axe. It was White Point Beach Lodge when I was like 7, 8 years old. And it was me and my cousin Ben, and we would just get all the money that we could out of our parents in the mornings, go over, they had the buffet breakfast, you have your buffet breakfast, and then you walk right into the games room, and there would be nobody else in there at that hour in the morning except for old people playing shuffleboard, and then there was in the corner, this dark, dingy, fucking dirty-ass corner, they had this cabinet of Golden Axe, and we would sit there, and I don't think we ever got past, like, stage 2.
It's tough.
But we played a shitload of Golden Axe, and so that was probably the one for me, I would say. We also, the only thing in the arcade you and I did a lot of too was that stupid punch bag fucking thing.
Yeah,
that was a fun
You
one.
loved that fucking
I
game.
love that fucking
yeah,
thing.
me, I don't give a fuck about that game, but every time we were there and you'd see it, you'd have to fucking punch
I'd have
the
to
shit
hit
out of
that
that
thing.
Yeah.
That's right. I clearly had to get the anger out of my body, and that was my only outlet was punching that thing. Phil asks, who is the most or what is the most memorable video game boss you ever came up against in a video game? Top 3 if you've got 3.
Oh, Solgrim's number 1. That's
All right.
that's from I want
Boshi?
to be the
Is it
Boshi.
the guy or
yeah,
Boshi?
No, Boshi.
Okay.
Yeah. That shit. Bro.
I remember that whole saga. That was a saga for sure.
Jesus, man.
That was rough.
That is the hardest thing I've ever done in gaming ever. And it's not just it's on multiple levels of hard. Like not only is it mechanically tough, but like it requires a lot of memory. You know, to the point where you'd have to know what pixel to jump on and stand in for very specific things, or you're just dead. And then like you have to have the reaction time, and you have to put in the hours and hours and hours. Like we're talking what it takes you to beat Elden Ring is what it like the entire game is like
take to beat one boss.
Solgrim.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. That is the hardest boss ever. I don't know if there's a harder boss in any game history.
You definitely got fucked by Sonic when that happened too.
I got fucked pretty hard up by Sonic, but I didn't spend nearly as much. Like I literally took a break from Boshi when I got to Solgrim because it was tough. Like at least with Sonic, like I just grind it out, eventually get it, whether it's days later or whatever. But Solgrim was like, dude, that shit is crazy. So yeah, that's number 1, 2, and 3, man. There is no harder boss in video game history.
You know what's depressing? And I say this because I only say this, I think, because I've been watching so many videos on speedruns lately. Like, that's like my downtime. I'm eating dinner or something. Been watching some videos on that. And like the history of speedruns for certain games. And what I do remember is like watching, you know, people speedrunning Boshi. And some of them like never getting hit once for the entire run. And it just makes you feel like such a fucking cuck.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how they do it, man. It's just, well, what it is just muscle memory.
Well, it's muscle memory. But bro, I could muscle memory my ass for 20 years. Ask me if I'm ever getting through that fucking game as smooth as they're doing it. Not a chance in hell. It's a special breed. Yeah. Man, iconic bosses. Top 3. I'm gonna say the one that popped into my head first was Artorias from Dark Souls. Not necessarily because it was the hardest boss in Dark Souls, and I don't think I was stuck on him any longer than, you know, other bosses, but just from a memorable standpoint, it was such an awesome, epic fight. He's my favorite character in all of Dark Souls. Such an amazing amount of artwork put into that guy, and very different from almost every other boss that you fight in Dark Souls. And I remember even more so because the way I beat it was eventually I ran in naked with nothing but a spear and the grassroot shield for stamina regeneration, and just beat him basically ass naked because I was getting slapped around too much with slow rolls before that. And it was one of those feelings where when you do it, and it wasn't like a really long run, probably like 8 hours or so to beat him, I think, maybe at that point, maybe somewhere in there. You just feel fucking incredible on the other side when you conquer some shit like that. So definitely he's up there. Other memorable bosses. Oh boy. I won't say it's a boss, but I'll say, like, an end part of the game, because there's no real bosses in it, but the last stage in Halo Combat Evolved, when you're in the Warthog and you're going through everything, and it's, you know, all the enemies everywhere, and shit's just blowing up all over the place, and you're losing fucking foe hammer, and all that stuff happens. You know, that's a very memorable sort of Halo boss, if you will, I suppose. Put it on Legendary, everything's a boss in fucking Halo. But yeah, that for sure. And then, man, what if there was a third? If there was a third, what would I go with? Man, like memorable. I don't know if I've got another one just off the top of my head. No, you know what? I'll go with this one because I was when I was a kid. I'll say the memorable one for me when I first got my N64 and I was playing Mario 64. I remember first getting up to the King Bomb up at the top of like the first level. Not hard, but like memorable for me. You're just as a kid and you get to the top of that mountain for the first time, and maybe you found out that when you step inside of the alcove, you can actually skip like half the run up the mountain and shit like that. You get to the top and it's like your first boss, your first 3D platforming experience. They very, very much memorable for me, for sure.
Dude, what a game that was, man. And still is. That game
still is
so crazy good.
It is.
And when you just think about being a kid and playing Mario 64 for the first time, I even have that same feeling with Donkey Kong 64. It was the same, like, it's the same feel. It's almost a carbon copy of a game, but with bananas and you know, different characters.
Yeah.
And as a kid, like, that is so memorable. And then playing those games today, they still hold. Like, it's crazy.
Dude,
how
DK64 is huge too. Like, they took the collectathon a little too seriously. It was like you had Mario 64, then you had Banjo or whatever. That was a even bigger collectathon, and then DK64 came out, and they said, "Fuck it, just everything." In the kitchen
sink.
Use
the expansion pack, like it was a big deal, man. Donkey Kong 64, I remember that shit, man.
That's true.
That's good times.
That's very true. Good times. Dean Eves, what was your favorite Lag TV versus series? He said, I miss Chowaniki versus
Kart, man. Mario Kart. Come on. Is there a better episode?
That godforsaken fucking Cocoa Mountain.
Yeah, bro. The Mario Kart is my favorite, man.
I lost 10 years of my life.
I was just trolling, man.
Oh, the troll was so... The fact that you even managed to get the right fucking items to knock me off the track like 4 fucking consecutive times was beyond me. I was so tilted. That's definitely a top one. Koenig was great because it was so fucking absurd. Like, none of it made any sense. For sure. Resident Evil 5 was pretty fun because it was so Resident Evil 6 was torture, but 5 was a bad, like, I know some people that will die on the hill that Resident Evil 5 was actually a really good video game.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. But it wasn't as bad as 6.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good laughs in Resident Evil 5, so that was pretty fun. Ornstein and Smo. Man, that's probably not a bad pick either for, like, bosses. And again, it's a Dark Souls thing. I mean, Dark Souls is... Oh, you know what I should have said? Alright, Ornstein and Smo is a good one. And then another one would be the first boss that you come up against oh, fuck me. Ha! No, I'm not gonna think of the name. My brain... Shadow of the Colossus. First boss you come, because you don't know, especially like if you played it and you had no previous, you just see the box art, you read the back, you kind of have a vague idea of what you're getting into, and you have no fucking clue what you're getting into, and you get to that first area, you climb up, you're learning your mechanics, and that's all it gives you. The game literally just gives you a cliff to climb, and it's like, oh, okay, you know what you're doing now. Here's a boss. And then it like fills the entire fucking screen. And you're looking up and you're like, what in the shit am I supposed to do against this monolith? So that for sure is definitely a very memorable boss. And then yeah, Ornstein and Smo. Ornstein and Smo was one of those weird ones where depending on the player, you either beat Ornstein and Smo really quick, or you just couldn't fucking get around. Like, usually it was Smo on the back end, he'd like sit on your fucking head or some shit, do his bullshit hammer nonsense. I beat Ornstein and Smo on my first attempt. And I got my ass wiped by like bosses that are way easier than Ornstein and Smo, but for whatever reason, I was on one. It's like, that's what you're like in Boshi or in any hard game. Sometimes you're in the zone. And like you pay attention to nothing else, your brain is so focused, and you just pull off some crazy shit. And then you can come up against something that's way easier, and you just get spanked, like fucking over and over again. Ornstein and Smo for me, I was in the fucking zone. Kenny Loggins, if it could have been playing in the background, would have been great. Having that shit constantly going on in the background. But yeah, beat that shit in the first attempt. And then other bosses that other people were like, oh, this is easy, Adam. And I walk in the room and I just get my shit kicked for like fucking 7 hours straight. It's just kind of the magic of Dark Souls. But yeah, that's definitely another one. That's one of the bosses that everyone says is like a skill check in Dark Souls. You walk through that door and it's like the first time I think you see technically two bosses at the same time. And you know how hard all the bosses previously are if there's only one of them, and you're like, fuck, now there's two? So yeah, that's definitely another good one. One of the worst things about that one, though, is that when you're running to Ornstein and Smo, you can do it pretty easily, but it's one of those, like, it was one of those, doorways where enemies could still hit you through the door. And if you rolled or you were trying to escape from Ornstein and Smo mid-battle, you could get your shit, like, poked from behind the fucking, like, cloud door, and it was already hard enough, and you're getting your shit kicked from through a door that they're not supposed to be able to attack you through. It's just brutal. Oh, that's true. Gargoyles is technically before Ornstein and Smo. That is true. That is a multiple one. But nowhere near as difficult as fucking Ornstein and Smo. That Ornstein and Smo were a challenge. Yeah, so as far as like the series though, you know what? It wasn't a Lag TV Versus, but Shadow of the Colossus, we played it together.
That was fun.
But I mean, we played literally one night. It was 6:30 in the morning. I went home, and it was a combination of I've never been that tired in my life. And I'd also never laughed that hard in my life because we were so tired. Every time we say take her for a rip there, bud, we both cry. It wasn't even funny, but we cried laughing anyway.
We're just overtired, man.
Way
Rooms smell
overtired.
like ass. We were fucking playing that game all night, all fucking day.
If you haven't seen that, I think it's still on Jeff's YouTube channel.
Yeah, the whole playthrough's up there.
You should definitely watch that shit.
Yeah.
For sure. What Mark Furry asks, what small appliance confuses you the most? And then he asks me, has M picked out a rice cooker yet? I think we have a rice cooker here somewhere, but we also have a pressure cooker that you can use as a rice cooker. And so if I can tell her to just use that, because there's so many appliances, it just gets fucking stupid. But
what's the question?
What small appliance confuses you the most? A pressure cooker actually fucking scares me. Like, it's just the thing, even though it's a very small chance, you can fuck yourself up with a pressure cooker, and so, like, when I use it, I treat it like I'm defusing a bomb. I'm part of the bomb squad, the fucking police department, and I'm, like, touching buttons from, like, fucking 15 feet away.
I would say an air fryer is, like, black magic to me, man. I know how it
we
works,
got one of those, like, too!
Oh, yeah, fuck, we use air fryer all the time.
All the time.
All the time. But yeah, no, that shit's black magic.
That is true. It is black magic. And thank God, because you can still enjoy fried foods without having like 14 gallons of fucking oil all up in your shit.
You cook literally anything, man. You cook steaks, fucking chicken, fucking, like, you throw anything in there, it just cooks it. And it's the best to reheat. Instead of using microwave, you've got like good leftovers from the night before, like say you got fish and chips or something. Instead of putting that shit in the microwave and have it soggy as fuck, throw that bitch in the air fryer for a minute. And that shit's like crispy again.
Have you done pizza reheated in the air fryer?
Oh, yeah. We've cooked pizza in the air fryer. Like little mini pizzas. Put them right in that bitch.
Okay. All right. I'm excited now. I haven't had a chance to use it yet because we don't have our place yet. But
I don't eat that stuff anymore, though, because,
you can't.
My shit's all fucked up. Doctor was like, hey, man, I think you got IBS, and I think gluten's fucking you up. And I was like, okay, let me try that out. I went to the grocery store. I spent $500,000 in new groceries just for me. Gluten-free, lactose-free, and my stomach has done a complete 180.
There you go.
I have had zero stomach pain in the last 3 days. Zero. None.
You've unlocked the magic.
It's actually crazy. Like I took a regular shit the other day. Like that was a W. It smelt regular. It was a regular ass shit. Didn't come out my asshole like fucking faucet. It's good times, man. It sucks because like I can't.
Well, if you're lucky, you'll be like me, where you'll have to do that for a period of time, and then you might be able to slowly reintroduce certain foods again. Yeah. Slowly is the key word.
Bro, I'm not. I went through hell for the last like 6 months. I'm literally eating pure organic. Within 6 months, I'm probably gonna look like a completely different person. You're gonna be like, what the fuck have you been doing, bro? I'm just not eating gluten. I'm not eating dairy. And I bought I got like gluten-free and lactose-free pizza. I got 2 of those. One of them tastes like ass. The other one's pretty good. But the big W was we got gluten-free ice cream, or not gluten-free, but lactose-free ice cream.
Oh, yeah, lactose-free ice cream is fire.
Bro, that shit was better than the other shit I was eating.
Well, you know why? Because it tastes sweeter because of how they have to treat it for lactose, and so it actually sweetens it up. It's like buying lactase milk or like lactose-free milk. It tastes sweeter because of how they have to treat that shit.
Yeah, man. You know? That shit's amazing. Like I'm eating ice cream out of the fucking container. That's how good it is. So, that's been my life for the last 3 days. I'm pretty much sticking with it for a while anyway, and then I'll probably try and eat a little bit of dairy to like see, or like it's some cheese and stuff to see what happens. But man, if the moment I feel my stomach doing some dumb shit again, man, I'm cutting it. I don't care.
No, I went when lactose intolerance hit me when I was like 24 or whatever. I went for fucking hell. What? 3 years, 4 years of being strict about it, and even if it was a small amount of dairy that I couldn't avoid, lactose pills.
Yeah.
And or Lactaid. And that kept it in check. Now many years later, I can get away with certain amounts of dairy. So like if I sit down and I eat pizza, the amount of cheese on that pizza and the type of cheese on the pizza, I might not be thrilled about it, but I'm not going to shit fucking bricks or shit water and be upset about it like 15, 20 minutes later. Whereas before, that would have just fucking destroyed my life.
Yeah.
The only thing I still take these pills for is if it's like really heavy in cream specifically. So ice cream I still use it for, or if it's a dessert that's just heavy in like condensed milk or things like that, or has whipped cream in it, then yeah, I still take it. Yeah. Otherwise, that stuff I can still get away with. If I want to put like some cheese on my pasta again, I can get away with that shit, things of that nature. But yeah, you gotta give your body some time.
I ain't touching any of it for a while, man. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I feel such relief. Like I was such a miserable fucking asshole for like months, like December. Like you didn't even want to be around me. I guarantee it, bro. I was so fucking salty all the time, man. So uncomfortable.
Well, it's you're constantly uncomfortable and you just don't.
It got to the point where I wake up in the morning and the first thing on my mind is like, okay, how's my stomach today? And then I'd feel it and be like, fuck me, man. I'd be so mad, bro. I went and spent $700 on a godforsaken ultrasound because I didn't want to fucking wait. I was like, bro, I was like, man, I'll pay any amount of money to just not feel like this right now. I don't care. Like they could have been like, bro, it's gonna be $10,000 to figure this out. I'd be like, take it. Like,
done.
That's it. That's it. Let me write this check for you right now. I got this money for you. But
that's how I've been feeling about my legs for all this time. Is I'm just like fucking like I wake up in the morning. I'm like, how do I feel today?
Yeah, no,
it's not. And it's constantly on my mind. Yeah,
no,
it's anything chronic like that is the fucking worst. What is this? Dr. Samurai says and asks, I had a girlfriend from Michigan that claimed Tim Hortons started in Michigan. Showing her that she was wrong did nothing to change her opinion. Have you ever had someone claim something that you knew was bogus? How did you respond? And likewise, have you ever claimed something you knew was bogus and immediately got caught? The latter, probably. Do I have an example off the top of my head? No, but that's almost a guarantee. But have I ever known somebody? Yeah, absolutely. Shit, have you ever been on Facebook? Fuck me.
Bro. Everybody's fucking full of shit these days, man. Fuck's sakes.
I
just hate people, man, in general. I'm just like, bro, like, you know, I've got like a handful of friends in my life, and I pretty much just don't like a lot of fucking people. I find every year my Facebook friends, it goes down by at least 20 to 50. And now, if I get rid of 20 or 50, that's like 50% of my friends on Facebook. So, like, you know, we're getting lower and lower. Everybody's just fucking full of shit all the time. Everybody's so fucking fake. I don't give a fuck about what people are really doing. I just like, I'm at the point now. It's just noise, man. And I think it's just because you just see so much bullshit. Like, and I see through everything now. Like, because I'm older now. You know, like 10 years ago, a little different. Younger, 25, chilling. Even then, I was starting to get irritable with people like on social media and Facebook and stuff. You know, now when I see it, man, I just remove people. Like that's the thing is like same with when I'm on Twitter, and Twitter just loves, and it's like that. Twitter's like one of the social media things that I'm on every day. Like just it's like part of my life. You know, I just like go scroll through Twitter. It's come on my fucking feed. And I hate it basically every time I do it because like there's tons of shit on there I don't give a fuck about. I'm not following 90% of the stuff that they're fucking regurgitating into my face. So what I do is I just block people. I'm just constantly blocking people all the time. I probably look like a fucking like a prick. Like if somebody would go to my profile and they're just randomly blocked, it's like don't take it personal. I just don't care about you. Like I don't follow you. I don't know why. I have like there's like some famous streamers and like famous like you know influencers that like I'm sure are perfectly good people. I have nothing against them personally. I just don't care about you. And so like I have to block you because people around me that I follow are like liking your it's not even likes anymore. It's like Adam and Miyagi
follow this
person. So now you get to see his or her shit. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And the ones out there that are fucking that I got to be careful in my use of words here on Twitch, but the ones out there that are fucking thirsty as shit, and you're out there liking every fucking tit pic that you see on Twitter, I'm just blocking every chick I see. And I don't want to fucking hear the shit where people are like, you know, where there's guys and girls mainly that are like, oh, what are you scared of boobs? Did a boob scare you? It's like, no, I just like, I'm chilling, man. I don't need to be laying in bed next to my wife, just scrolling through social media, and she
or
looks
like just
over
being in
and it's
public.
constant tits and ass and fucking literal porn on my feeds.
Dude,
Like-
you know what's like same thing. Twitter itself is bad about it. They'll be like, "Hey, do you want?" Because you know how they have like topics, right? Like video games or politics or whatever. Dude, all these fucking I'm calling them e-thoughts, and I like it's not that
Straight
you shouldn't
up.
do it if you want to do it.
Yeah, straight up.
Make your money, but you're an
your money.
e-thought. Own it. Look. What they do is they go on and they'll say something very specific to a topic, like a video game related or politics, and it will have nothing to do with politics. It's just a tit picture or like them in some lingerie in a mirror with the LED strips in the background, like every other fucking one of them. And then it's like, hey, you might like this topic, it's politics, but it's a picture of that. I'm like, what about this is politics?
Yeah, seriously.
Or like they'll say looking for Valorant duo, and it's just like fucking, you know.
Yeah. Will you be my duo?
Will you be my Valorant duo? Here, let me show you my great-grandchildren that haven't been born yet.
Seriously, man. It's just like, dude, and then I don't even say anything on Twitter anymore because like there's been a few times like years ago where I would write like I don't need to why? Like why? Right? I'd call them on, and then I have a bunch of fucking white knights be like, "Bro, it's boobs, man. What's your problem, man? Who don't like boobs?" You know, and then the girls that are like, the e-girls that are supporting the other e-girls and stuff, they're like, "Girl, you look so fucking hot. You look so fucking hot." And then I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, for one, you don't look that hot. Like you look like I don't know if it's the dad in me or what, but I instantly think of their parents, and I'm like, man, like if that was my sister. And I saw that shit on Twitter, man. I'd text her. I'd be like, "Come on, stop this madness! Like, stop this madness. Listen, if you're making your money, make your money." But that's where I'm at, man. That I just like I don't know. And listen, guys, I'm a man. I love beautiful women. All right, I love boobs. Okay, I'm more of an ass man, but I'm gonna be honest. I like them both. And there's tons of ass on my feed. It's not saying I don't like everything. I just don't need to see it. Like I don't. Listen, if I want to go see some ass and titties, I'll go to Pornhub. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need to go on my Twitter feed. If I want to go rub one out, I'm not gonna do one to an e-girl on Twitch. I'm gonna go and watch what I want to watch, right? Like I don't get turned on and horny from seeing these photos. I just don't, and it becomes more of an annoyance. And it's like it's weird. Like if I'm hanging out with my son and I'm just chilling, he's sitting there playing on his little laptop, and I'm scrolling through my phone, and there's titties all over the place. Like I just remove it. I don't know, man.
Dude,
Maybe
I'm
a bad guy. I don't know what it is, but I'm just not. I just don't. I don't know.
I get it. I do. I think I mentioned this podcast before, but when we were in IKEA, and I was sitting at in the kitchen design area where they have you sit at a computer and use their thing, and then they have a service representative come over and like finalize the order sheet and shit with you. And while I was waiting for them to finish up the order sheet, and they're right next to me on the next computer, like fucking like a foot and a half next to me. And I'm like, I've got some time. So I open up my phone to Twitter, and I press the home button to refresh my feed, and the top thing is just because they don't even crop anymore, like Twitter got rid of cropping, so it's just a full-blown fucking e-thought on the top of my feed, and it was like, maybe you would like crocheting. And I'm like, what? And I have my phone, I'm like, oh shit, fuck. I like trying to turn my phone off. I press like 6 buttons. I accidentally take a screenshot because the fucking stupid Samsung Bixby button is there. I'm like, fuck. Because I'm in public. I'm like, what are you doing to me? I don't need to see that shit. Like, if I wanted to, I'd seek it out actively. I don't need you to deliver me what you think is like related to fucking these topics in which they have nothing to do.
It's gonna sound crazy, man. This is gonna sound crazy, and this is gonna kind of sound like I'm a bit of a hater. And trust me, guys, I'm not. I'm all for the hustle. Listen, man, if there's an e-chick making fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars a month or millions of dollars a year.
I wish I could make that.
Shit, if they're making $5,000 a month, man, and they paying their bills and do it. Like,
I just don't want to see it.
I just don't want to see it. I'm not signing up for it. I'm not on your OnlyFans page. Like, if I wanted to, I'd go and get it. But honest to God, this is not even me being a hater. This is the truth. If I was hooked up to a lie detector test right now, shit would be truthful as fuck. I would much rather them target me for ads for like fucking virtually anything, clothing, electronics, fucking, I don't give a shit. Fucking Wealth Simple.
Anything that makes sense.
Anything that makes sense. I don't need you to push this stuff on me all the time. It's very rare. I would say like once I probably see 50 of these photos a day. No joke. And there might be 2 in there where I actually scroll back and I go, oh, okay. And then I just be on both of them about my day. It's rare. I mean, it's rare. Listen, it is what it is. So yeah, social media, I don't know how we got there.
I don't even know how we got there, but it's true.
I don't know how we got there, but when it comes to social media, man, I can't.
It's just a good thing that M isn't like a hyper jealous type, and she understands social media because she spends so much time on it. Is that like even for girls and their feeds for like Instagram and shit? It's basically just what Instagram is? It's porn disguised as exercise advice.
Oh, it's softcore porn for sure.
It's just like this post is actually about doing glute bridges, but unfortunately, I'm also going to show you every single pore on my labia while I do it.
It's all about clicks, man. It's all about clicks. Slow motion. These dances that they do, and like they're like mouthing sayings,
non-existent lyrics
and stuff, and like it's just so cringe, man. It's so fucking cringy.
It is.
Bro, hey, I'm a 35-year-old fucking married man that has accepted his fate, as this will be the only vagina I'll be in.
Maybe that's it. Maybe we're 18. We want to see all that shit showing up on my feed.
Hey, I'll admit it. Hey, I'll admit it, man. If I was a single guy, listen, I am so grateful that I have a wife and I've been in a relationship for like fucking 12 or 13 years, because I'd already been in a lot of trouble by now. I'm just gonna be honest with you. So, I've just accepted my reality, and maybe subconsciously I'm trying to remove all of the temptation out of my life completely. Maybe that's part of it. Hey, I'm human, but at the same time, I'm actually getting annoyed. So like, maybe it started as that, and now I'm just like jaded, but I'm just old now. I'm just old. I'm old.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
This comes from A. Dent. Not Harvey Dent, but his brother Aiden. I had my 30th birthday during COVID, womp womp. Looking to make up for it this year and travel to Vegas. So that sounds vaguely familiar. Mr. Black, what are some must-see things to do in Vegas? Also, should I go see Shania Twain or not? Of course you should.
Why
Shania
not?
Twain.
I think that'd be a good show, to be honest.
Shania Twain's probably fire show.
Yeah, I'm not a massive Shania Twain fan, but listen, man, if the tickets, especially if you're going with a spouse, you say he's going with his girl or with a guy, I don't know. Is he going by himself?
I don't fucking know. He didn't stipulate, but I don't think it matters. You go see Shania Twain.
I mean, would I go to Shania Twain by myself? Probably not.
Would you go to Celine Dion by yourself?
Yes, I would. But I didn't go to Celine Dion by myself. I went with Coltrane.
That's true.
And it was an experience that him and I will share for the rest of our lives. And I definitely cried during that show. And the show was amazing. Listen, it was an emotional show.
I'm just envisioning Coltrane, because all I see in my head with Coltrane is him power puking outside of her fucking hotel friggin' door at 3 o'clock in the morning during Anaheim.
No, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Coltrane's crazy. But he's got the same taste as me, and he's in love with Celine Dion. I'm a huge Celine Dion fan. When we saw that shit, there was a bond there, man. There was a bond. Yeah, that shit was incredible. So listen, go to the best thing that you can do is, I mean, if you got a Vegas show, for example, and it's a famous artist or entertainer or whatever, and you fucks with them, but like you're not a massive fan.
Mm.
If you can go with somebody that is a big fan,
It'll
and
elevate your
it'll
experience.
oh yeah, because like you're excited for them, and then you're realizing like and then you can cheer and have fun, but you're not gonna cheer and have as much fun as the other person, so you don't feel awkward, so you're not like kind of overdoing it,
But then they're so excited, they'll get you excited because they're excited, right?
Yeah. So like Celine Dion, like Coltrane and I, we both knew all the songs, we knew all the words.
Who was Jack and who was Rose?
Oh man, dude, we were both Rose, man. we were Rosing hard, man. Dude, it was so emotional, man. That was like her comeback right after her husband and her brother died.
Oh right,
Man,
yeah.
oh my god, they had these like they had this video that they played right before she came out, and then she came out and she was crying, and I was like, oh my god. And then she just starts singing, and she's singing with so much emotion.
Of course,
and then they've got these pictures, like these still pictures of her and her husband together, and
Oh,
her
my
and her brother
Lord.
and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, everybody in the Coliseum is just like done. And it was such a good, it was like such a therapeutic and like a it's hard to explain. I was transported. That was the best concert I've ever been in my life. Now, I haven't gone to many concerts, but like just the talent and the emotion and the vibe, and you're in Vegas and you're in
Tenacious D close second.
Well, listen, I'll be honest.
You were fucked up during Tenacious D.
I was fucked up bad. I had the flu and I was just fucked. I think I had COVID before COVID was even a thing. Like I was fucked up bad. I still enjoyed it, man, and I was trying my best to like really have fun with it.
You need to have some energy to be on for Tenacious D.
Oh yeah, bro. There was at points where I was sitting on the floor on this like sticky ass floor, just like feeling like I was gonna die, man. But we made it through. It was a good time. Good times. So yeah, what was the actual question?
What do you do? What some must see things to do in Vegas, I guess, is what he's asking.
I mean, you definitely got to go see a show. So whether
pick at least one.
Yeah, go to Blue Man Group. That was a lot of fun. I saw that in Vegas.
They're still doing that shit.
Oh yeah, man.
Holy fuck! Those guys got to be swimming
Michael
in it.
Jackson Circus du Soleil. I got the jacket right here.
There you go.
I bought the Michael Jackson jacket while I was away. But
how much did that cost you?
I think it was like $150.
Hell, that's actually not completely terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible. But yeah, I bought this at the gift shop on the way out.
You gotta give me a hee now.
But no, that show, I saw it twice. That show's incredible. If you're a Michael Jackson fan, you're gonna absolutely love it. Or even if you're like, there are certain Michael Jackson songs you really like, you're gonna love it because it's Circus du Soleil. So like they've got crazy theatrics and the lighting and the sound, and it's amazing. David Copperfield was actually really good too, and I think a lot of magic shows are kind of cheesy and predictable.
Especially David Copperfield.
Especially David Copperfield. Guy's been in fucking Vegas for like fucking probably
50 years,
three or 4 decades, easily. So I thought it was going to be really fucking bland and shitty. But Kayla and I went on our honeymoon. We saw like 4 shows when we went there, and it was one of the better shows. It was only like $100. It was short. It was like an hour and 10 minutes, and there was some shit that I was like, oh, it's kind of whack. But then there was some stuff that was like really cool too, because in Vegas, it's all about the atmosphere. It's all about,
of course.
It's kind of like a Vegas show is almost like going to the IMAX to watch a really big movie that like everybody's been clamping at the bit to go see, like an Endgame or an Avatar or a Matrix or something. And so everybody is in the mood, like you can feel the energy. And that's what Vegas does, except like 10x.
Because you're going there specifically for Vegas, so everyone's in the same mindset. Everyone's, yeah.
Everybody's getting a little loose, man. All the kids are at home, and fucking, adults can act like, teenagers again and escape and have fun. So just go have fun. There's tons of shit to do in Vegas, man. There's so much shit to do. Just take a budget and don't go past it, because
they get out of control.
you will go. It will be out of control.
Danish Devil asks, what's your favorite sandwich? Any toppings or condiments that are requirements or absolute no-nos?
Say it one more time.
Your favorite sandwich, and are there any condiments that are absolutely necessary or absolute no-nos?
I think my favorite sandwich is an Egg McMuffin, and it's got to have ketchup on it, and the yolk has got to be runny.
It's got to have that American processed cheese, one slice.
One slice. I won't be having any one of those anytime soon, but it's probably my favorite sandwich. And then if I had to like do something a little bit more traditional, I would go with a Montreal smoked meat sandwich.
From a Schwartz's or whatever the fuck it's.
Really anywhere that's got like real smoked meat. I'm not talking about like your processed garbage that you get in the grocery store. That'll, I'm talking about nice, fresh ass meat getting cut.
I am such a filthy, degenerate fuckboy with this sandwich shit because if I'm gonna be honest, it's my Subway fucking sandwich is my favorite sandwich.
Damn.
I gotta be honest.
Damn.
I gotta be. Because even if I'm eating at home, it's pretty similar. It's just not on a sub. So, it's just that at Subway, you also get those fire cookies. You can't, you can't.
The M&M cookies.
Fuck. Can't have those either.
Can't have those either. Fuck me.
So it's foot long on Italian herb and cheese, turkey with bacon, lettuce, tomato, green pepper, onion, pickle, mayo, mustard, little bit of that sub sauce oil that they got, which is basically like a Greek salad dressing for all intents and purposes, salt, pepper, extra cheese, extra turkey. I was going to get a second layer turkey, second layer cheese. I'm a big boy and I need all my calories.
Double toasted, man. I got to get my shit double toasted, man.
I don't do toasted for the turkey unless I do have a toasted turkey sandwich, but it's a different combo of shit if I toast it. So if it's toasted, it's still Italian herb and cheese, turkey with bacon and cheese. But the toppings instead are just lettuce, tomato, green pepper, onion, no pickle, and instead of mustard and stuff, it's mayo and then Southwest sauce. That's the toasted version that I get occasionally.
Sounds like a solid sub, Adam.
It's pretty fucking fun. Dude, I haven't had it in years because of COVID, and I would not in a million fucking years walk into a Subway order a Subway sandwich.
Yeah, it's probably the last place you want to order from.
Literally the last. I'm surprised they're even still functioning as a business at this point.
It's actually the last place. I actually can't think of
a worse place to go.
No, that ain't it.
So yeah, that's it for me. I can't, and then you get your cookies, and I'm two different orders again for your cookies. It's either 2 M&M or I get 1 double chocolate, 1 white chip macadamia. Those are the 2 that I go. And a drink is always one of 2 things: cranberry juice or 7-Up, Sprite, whatever they got in the machine. Those are that, and that's it.
I'm a vanilla Coke guy, man. They got those.
Do they have that on tap?
Bro, they got that. Dude, in every Subway, they've got that machine now where you can get like 1,000 different things.
Oh, that's right. They got the combo thing now. Oh, that's right.
And it's not even Coke. It's like Pepsi, but it's still, when it's fountain, it's pretty much fucking same.
Tastes the same anyway.
The Pepsi with the vanilla. Oh, man.
Yeah. Man, vanilla Coke.
I can't wait to go to America, but, I won't be able to eat. My food budget is going to be so ridiculous.
You're going to be like, can I get this steamed?
Yeah,
please.
Bro, it's horrible.
Like, sir, this
is go to like a fucking fancy ass restaurant every time I need to eat food. Big spending $100 a meal probably.
Need to find that Denny's on the Vegas Strip. They got Denny's on the Vegas Strip?
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh, There you go. There's your breakfast option right there. Denny's will get you covered. You don't need to spend too much money
with all that gluten.
No, it depends on what you order. It's not like they got fucking scrambled eggs with gluten mixed in or some shit.
Suppose, yeah.
They've got the if they still have it there, and they probably do. They've got the skillet where you got your
that's so good.
Your potato, your green peppers, onions, mushrooms, scrambled egg.
You can get like the Texas skillet with the hamburger.
You're just gonna have to tell them no cheese, bro. You're gonna have to
zero cheese.
Pass on that cheese.
Zero cheese.
Don't even walk it past the cheese.
Yeah, I don't even want to smell it. I don't even want to smell the cheese because I will be in a bathroom shitting out the eye of a needle for half my trip. It ain't happening.
There you go. Mr. Stars, that is TMI, even for this podcast, so you have to come up with another question for next week. Even for this podcast, we have lines. There's not many of them, but we have some. I'll ask the question, but we're not going to answer. He said, maybe TMI. He knew, so he knew ahead of time. He knew when he was asking this question it wasn't going to happen, but he went for it anyway. He shot a shot. And saying shot a shot is actually a bit of a meme here because he said, when was your best nut? Don't answer that. This man started thinking about it too.
I know what nut it is, but yeah.
I know, yeah. You've talked about it, I think, to a degree before.
I definitely have, yeah.
To some degree.
I've had a couple of good ones.
Last question comes in from Time Tricks. Since this is the year everyone seems to be showing new EV trucks, if you bought one, which model would it be?
I've already ordered the Cybertruck, but I put an order in for that like 2 years ago, the deposit. But
whenever that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I just bought a truck, so like, you know, if it comes out in another 3 years, then you know maybe, but maybe not, because I'm just done spending money on cars. Period. This shit's it's an absolute waste of money. And I'd rather just go buy property than buy vehicles. And I've already got. I'm not proud to admit it, but I've got like a couple $100,000 worth of vehicles outside, and you know, just the thought of that.
Bro, I'm running that RAV4 into the fucking dirt.
I'm
until it starts costing me big money to repair. That bitch is getting run into the ground.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Especially with gas prices, I'm keeping this hybrid like my life depends on it, because it does. For me, man, I'm a slave to Toyota, and because I trust them, because they always seem to get things working. They might not be the best overall, but they're the ones that you're likely going to be able to depend upon more than any other brand currently. Yeah. And so if I'm going to go down the road, because electric vehicles are still relatively new in the grand scheme of things, so shit's going. I mean, look at fucking Teslas, man. The recalls on that bitch, like every fucking 3 months is another recall.
I think we're probably 5 to 7 years out, and about I would say 5 years, I will legitimately consider buying an electric car. You know what I mean? Like, and a family car. I'm not talking about an electric sports car.
No,
because I've already got a sports car and I love V8 noise. Yeah, but in terms of like safety, quality, practicality, I think in about 5 years, like shit. I mean, even now, like a Tesla in my neighborhood, there's like 4 or 5 Teslas.
Oh, they're getting more popular, yeah.
And they're great, and they've got a bunch of stations where you can go and charge them up. Like even now, I would own one if I didn't already have vehicles, and I was looking to save money on gas and different things like that. But in about 5 years, I think the technology will be at a place where like even I'll be like, okay, the next family car, I'll probably get an electric car. It'll probably be Tesla, but
I'll hold on to this hybrid RAV until electric cars become fucking stable and reliable. Yeah. And Toyota comes out and says, hey, we've got a RAV4 all electric, and I'm gonna say, hey, I'm your customer. Time to trade in, or just send that bitch off into the sun, because God knows when the fuck that's going to be coming around. Dude, vehicles are crazy right now. You can basically sell your car for as much as it was like you bought it for.
Bro.
It's insane.
Somebody legitimately offered me $140K for my Benz.
For the Benz?
Yeah. Like, that's...
Well, you want to hold on to that for about 10 years anyway, because gas-powered cars are going to be like legislated out of existence.
Oh yeah.
So like the end of life, sport car models are going to end up, seeing a bit of an increase in value.
Yeah. And well, what's nice about my car is like they don't make those V8s anymore. Like they're done. They're done. So like the price just skyrocketed, and now there's no inventory like anywhere. And so people are paying like ridiculous amounts of money for vehicles, like 40, 50, 60K over sticker. Of like, what the fuck? What?
Like I could
money, just burning it.
if it wasn't for the fact that you'd still have to wait and pre-order a car, even for like somebody like me that's just getting like pedestrian shit, I could sell my RAV for nearly full price.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. 100%.
And I have thought about it. I thought about taking the money and then just rolling into like taking like 10K of it, dumping it into another lease, and putting the rest of the money into the house. It has crossed my mind.
Yeah.
It has crossed my mind, but then that's more work than I'm willing to put up with right now, because he'd have to sell it privately.
Yeah.
And that's just a pain in the ass right now, because if you sell it at a dealership, they'll still give you a shitload of money, but you're never going to get anywhere fucking close to what you'd get for it outside of there. So, yeah, for sure. Either way, ladies and gents, that's it. We managed to make a non-existent news week nearly 2 hours long. Only here at Lag TV can you witness that kind of magic happen. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening. Share this podcast with a friend or three if you, one, have that many friends, and two, think they might like the show. Also, give us a rating anywhere where you listen to this or watch this podcast if you have the ability to do so. We'd greatly appreciate it. And again, patreon.com/LikeTV if you want to financially support this bad boy and keep it moving as it has been now for many years. And that's it. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you once again. Stay safe out there, especially if you're in that neck of the woods and you know what I'm talking about. For God's sake, stay safe over there. And until then, peace!
Peace.